What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mike Muhammad, and today I want to make a video about two things to ask. The first question I wanted to ask was, is it fair to say that Square-Enix committed fraud against their own consumers? Is it fair for people to say that Square-Enix took them for a ride, so to speak? Like, honestly speaking, man, I'm looking at the situation, and the way this game was marketed as a remake, the fact that it doesn't have like part 1 or anything on the box explaining that it's only the first part of triple quotation marks remake of Final Fantasy VII, is it fair for people to ask the question, did Square Enix take us for a ride? Is this fraudulent advertising? I think, honestly speaking, you could say that it is, in fact, fraudulent marketing to a degree. I don't remember if you guys can recall a while back. I think for people who bought a PS Vita or something, Sony eventually had to admit that there was a problem with the console and then give like people like a $25 voucher or something as an apology for selling them something on false pretense. And this was the result of like a class action lawsuit. I think it would be fucking hilarious if like somehow a class action lawsuit was brought up against Square Enix to say Final Fantasy VII Remake was sold under false pretenses to consumers, and for them to resultingly have to issue a voucher to people that could be redeemed for like $20 or whatever the case may be for selling the Final Fantasy VII Remake game on false pretenses. That to me would be a fucking triumph for gamers. Like, I really doubt this would ever fucking happen, but my god, it's actually a question worth asking. Is this game a case of like false advertising? I think it's fair to say that it is false advertising in a sense. I wouldn't call it like full-on false advertising. Like, yeah, it is a remake of like the first half of disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII with a bunch of Tetsuya Nomura horseshit tossed on at the end. But yeah, it's very possible that it could actually lead to a class action lawsuit. Wait until 1 month passes, and then people might actually file a fucking class action lawsuit against Square Enix. That would be the fucking best thing ever, man. I'm not gonna fucking file a lawsuit or some shit. I'm not even buying this game right now, but like, I think it would be funny if that happened. And the second thing I want to talk about was to bring up 7 games that, in my opinion, are more worth your time and are better fucking playthroughs, better experiences, just better games overall than this Final Fantasy VII Remake. And this is a reasonably short list of 7 games. I'll just go through them quickly. And let me just say some disclaimers about these 7 games, first of all. Let me just say this first of all. None of these games are remakes, let alone remakes that are only 1/6 or 1/10 of a fucking actual PS1 game or a game from fucking a long time ago, man. None of these games are remakes except for one that isn't really a remake at all, but some would argue is sort of a remake. I would argue it's not really a remake, it's sort of a new game / sequel. We'll get to that one anyways. And another disclaimer is that none of these games are directed by Tetsuya Nomura, thank God. So you won't have to worry about any time travel shenanigans or any crazy shit like that in any of these games. So without further ado, let's start up the list. So the first game on my list of 7 games that are better than Final Fantasy VII Remake, guess what, bitches? It's Final Fantasy XV. That's right. I'm starting out this list right, guys. Final Fantasy XV. This game, let me tell you guys, I feel like this game gets such an unfair rap, man. I feel like this game, it gets like very much criticized worse then it reasonably needs to be criticized. I mean, I'll say this. Is it a perfect game? No. Is it a fantastic game? Not quite. Is it a good game? I'd say yes. I wouldn't say it's a bad game. I wouldn't even call it a mediocre game. I call it a pretty decent game, to be honest. And originally this game was based on Final Fantasy Versus, which was a concept game created by Tetsuya Nomura. But eventually, it was handed over to another director, thank God. And so it's not quite as full as Tetsuya Nomura time travel bullshit and shenanigans like Final Fantasy VII Remake is. Anyhow, this game, man, let me tell you, this game, here's some things that this game has that Final Fantasy VII doesn't. You could have 4 characters in your battle party at once. In fact, you could actually have 5 if you, in certain sections, or if you, like, hack your game a little bit. It's not really a hack, it's like a cheat in the game you can sort of exploit. So there's that. You can have up to 5 characters in your battle party at once. There is an open world. Lo and behold, there's an open world. There are various dungeons that you don't actually have to do, but you can do if you want to, with various goodies hidden in there. There's an actual beginning, middle, and end to the story. The narrative structure, I think, was a little bit broken in the beginning. They ended up adding DLC that kind of patches up those holes in the narrative. So there was a problem when the game came out, but it has been corrected retroactively to a degree. Unfortunately, the last DLCs for the game was cancelled. I would have really liked to see those DLCs come out, but yeah, we will see, man. I don't think those DLCs are ever going to come out ever since they got cancelled. Pretty much they funnel all the money into this remake after Final Fantasy XV came out, unfortunately, and I would have liked to see the end of the DLC for this game, but that's just how it goes sometimes, man. So anyways, the whole story of Noctis and the boys was pretty great. I ended up being, like, pretty emotionally moved by the conclusion of the story, and it was free of Tetsuya Nomura shenanigans. An open world, dungeons you could explore, various boss fights, very good graphics. I was a fan of the gameplay. I liked warp blading, man. Warp blading mechanics, I thought it was pretty fucking cool in this game, man. A lot of people might argue with me or disagree with me. I honestly thought the gameplay was relatively fun in Final Fantasy XV. So again, not perfect, not perfect, not perfect, but still better than Final Fantasy VII Remake. So let's move on now. The next game on my list of games that are better than Final Fantasy Remake is, guess what? It's this game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Why do I put this game on the list? A very simple reason. You can play as Cloud in this game, and to be fair, the combat is more fun than Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm sorry, guys. Smash Ultimate created a pretty great battle system. Cloud is one of the better characters in the game, honestly speaking. He's a fast character. He's very strong. A lot of pro players play Cloud, as I understand it. Smash Ultimate doesn't have that much in terms of soundtrack from Final Fantasy VII, but I would say Cloud is more fun to play in Smash Ultimate than he is in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Man, I'm just being honest, guys. Anyhow, like, you can not only just play as Cloud, you can play as, like, what is it now? We're up to nearly 80 fucking characters in this game. There's gonna be 6 more DLC characters. You're gonna play as the Dragon Quest guy. Who knows who could be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate next? Could it be Master Chief? Perhaps. The union between Microsoft and Nintendo might happen. Maybe Noctis will get into Maybe Noctis will get into Smash Ultimate. God only fucking knows. Oh, man. But yeah. Smash Ultimate, not a JRPG, but still a better game than Final Fantasy VII Remake. So there you go. Now, moving on to the next game in our list. Is a game I've already talked about on my channel some years ago. And that game is this one right here. Persona 5, baby. Wow, that That Persona 5 screen is making me look red, man. But yeah, Persona 5, a better made JRPG than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's be honest. A more complete game. There's a new version of Final Fantasy VII Remake that just recently came out, Persona 5 Royale or whatever it's called, Royal. And but yeah, even the beginning game was a very long, detailed game that went on for quite a while. Had a very varied cast of interesting characters, fantastic music, really like interestingly designed dungeons. Great turn-based classic battle system, but it's based on Shin Megami Tensei, so you actually have to learn how to fight effectively, unlike a lot of turn-based RPGs where it's just about grinding and powering up. I would say that even Shin Megami Tensei 4 should be on this list. But for now, I would say the best game Atlus has made is P5, at least until Shin Megami Tensei 5. Whenever this fucking game comes out, will be a better fucking game. But anyways, Persona 5, a complete game, a great story, great soundtrack, great art, great gameplay. A better game than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just putting that out there. And you can get the original game for like, what, $20 these days? Or Persona 5 Royal with a bunch of extra content and stuff has been added into the game. So, the choice is yours, guys. And the next game on my list is one that maybe not that many people have played, but I think more should give a try. And that game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game is so fucking underrated, man. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like one of the funnest JRPGs I've ever played. Now it places it in like my list of like favorite JRPGs ever, man. It's a Nintendo Switch exclusive developed by Monolith Soft and published by Nintendo. It's probably the most sexual innuendo you'll ever see in a Nintendo game. Some of the jokes get pretty dicey in this game. Great characters, great art style, a big, robust open world. Man, I spent like 200 plus hours on Xenoblade 2, man. I went nuts with this game. I got like every single blade in the game. I think I got every single blade in the game, man. Holy fuck, man, and it took a while. Every blade is like a character in this game. And there's like side quests that are way better than Final Fantasy VII Remake side quests, man. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has a beautiful world, a great story, a really touching story that will get to you emotionally, man. Great characters that you'll end up loving. Really, this game does not get as much love as it deserves, man. And I really wish more people would give Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a chance. Everybody's going off about Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Definitive Edition coming out soon. But I don't hear that much discussion these days about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But it was fantastic. A great fucking RPG. Great music. And the amount of shit. The combat system in Xenoblade 2 has a serious learning curve. But it is so rewarding after a while. Like, the whole different flow of using elemental attacks, like, I don't know, man. Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat seems to be all about this staggering thing. It's stagger that nagger. That's the whole fucking point of Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay. This game, it's like, I don't even remember. You have to do a whole bunch of shit. You have to, like, cripple them and then, like, knock them down, then launch them into the air, and then use a smash attack special to truly do a lot of good fucking damage to these characters, and then make them give you loot drops. Yeah, this game, fuck, man. Just thinking about this game is making me want to play it again. That's how much I love this fucking game, man. And the music, man. The music was fucking incredible throughout this goddamn game. I'm only playing one track here, but, like, there was a lot of fantastic music in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Anyways, guys, give this game a try if you have a Nintendo Switch. It's a game that's like one of those... It should be considered a system seller for the Nintendo Switch, but again, doesn't get quite as much love as it deserves. So moving on to the next game in my list. You guys are going to fucking hate me for this one. The next game on my list of games that are better than Final Fantasy VII Remake is Death fucking Stranding, baby. This is the fucking PS4 timed exclusive that made your PS4 Pro temporarily worth it. First of all, let's say this. Death Stranding has an open world to explore. It has more fucking interesting combat than fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake. Even though it's completely different, it's more of an action game kind of thing. Like, my god, dude. The Virgin Nomura versus the Chad Kojima. Kojima, who, like, completely predicted the events of 2020. When he said near future, you didn't know he meant it that near future. People are going outside dressed up like they're wearing Death Stranding fucking outfits these days, man. In a fucking bridge suit. Yeah, this game, a very interesting story, had a more fucked up, convoluted storyline than any Tetsuya Nomura game, while still predicting the actual future of the year 2020, and having just a better fucking narrative overall with a beginning, middle, and ending. Honestly, this game gets so underrated, and like, I noticed not a lot of people who even bought the game completed it, because it truly tested the patience of the player. It's not like other games. This game is a slow burn to the max. Then when you're done playing it and you fully have learned the systems and how to explore the world and traverse it, you truly feel like you've mastered this world, and you do feel like you've actually formed connections in the world of Death Stranding. Honestly, man, this game will go down in history as, like, I don't think people have fully understood just how ahead of its time Death Stranding was. It might take years for people to fully appreciate the game. Maybe when the PC Master Race gets a hold on this game, they'll actually give it the love that it deserved. Anyhow, that's all I gotta say about Death Stranding. Now, the next game on my list is actually the game that I would argue is potentially a remake. But I don't think it really is a remake of, say... Well, I might as well just say it. The next game on my list is this game right here. Doom Eternal. Holy mother of fucking Christ. This is the game of the year 2020 fucking candidate that you were waiting for, guys. You may not know it right now, but this is one of the best fucking games ever made. If you haven't tried it, man, holy fuck, guys. You gotta try Doom Eternal. This game is something else, man. The world of Doom Eternal is fucking detailed. It's well thought out. There's actual, like, codex that you can read that fully flesh out the world of Doom Eternal. It is a very fucking, like, man, Doom 2016 was a game I fucking loved, man. I love Doom 2016. It rekindled my love for FPS campaigns. One of the funnest fucking games I've ever played. And honestly speaking, Doom Eternal smacks the shit out of it, man. Doom Eternal just amps up everything like 5 fucking times, man. The guns are better. Moving the Doomslayer's better. You have better dashes. Like, the platforming's better. The exploration is better. The world is better. You have a fucking fortress. Everything in Doom Eternal just feels fucking better than Doom 2016, man. The soundtrack is more fucking turned up and more fucking amped up. Every single aspect of Doom Eternal is just the best, one of the best fucking action games I've ever played. The best first-person shooter single-player campaign of all time, hands down, in my fucking opinion. And if you play this game on PC in like 120 FPS, oh man, this game is fucking bliss. God, I love Doom Eternal. God, I love this game. Oh man. Doom Eternal, man. I can't even put into words just how much I have fun playing this fucking game. On Nightmare, man, playing it on the hardest difficulty and savoring the fucking challenge. savoring the experience of learning this game and getting better and becoming the fucking Doomslayer. I love Doom Eternal, man. This game, it gets a lot of love, but it does. I would say it doesn't even get as much love as it fucking deserves, man. id Software, you guys are the real MVPs. This game kicks fucking ass, bro. Anyhow, now I'd like to move on to a few games I would call the honorable mentions. Of this section is the honorable mention sections. Anyhow, the first game on the honorable mention sections is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Because while not in any way related to Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's one of the best fucking games you could play right now. Whether you're going to play the Warzone mode, or whether you're going to play fucking just the regular multiplayer, Call of Duty, you could just pick up and play this game for fucking years now. I think this is the best Call of Duty game they've ever made. It's one of the best multiplayer FPS games of all time. It's one of the best action games of all time. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is an achievement for Activision. It's like the first truly great game they've ever made. Season 3 just started. There's new maps and stuff. I would say if you want to have a truly good time this weekend, you could still have it. You could have it any weekend with Modern Warfare, guys. So there you go. 5 credits have just been deposited into my Activision account. Okay, and the next fucking game I'm going to talk about, take this one in, guys. The next game I'm going to talk about is a game I just got for free. It's Gears 5, bro. I don't know if you guys know this, but this Easter weekend, man, Gears 5 is free for the whole weekend on Steam. If you have a PC and you have Steam, go right ahead, try Gears 5 for the weekend. Microsoft doesn't seem to have a big kick-ass game to come out with to compete with Sony right now. So they were like, you know what? Let's just put out Gears 5 50% on sale and put it out for free for the weekend to see how people react. Good move, Microsoft. You can't really... They don't have like a big budget game that they've been developing for like 6-7 fucking years like Square-Enix. But they have Gears 5 and they're like, you know what? You guys can try it for free this weekend. If it'll stop you from giving money to Sony and Square-Enix, we won a little bit. So there you go, Microsoft. Now, the last game that I'm going to talk about, the number one game that you should play instead of Final Fantasy VII Remake is... Guess what it is, guys? It's Nier Automata, guys. Nier Automata, guys. Holy fuck. I think my most popular video ever is about this game, because if you guys do not know this yet, this game, like, let me put it this way. Everybody keeps talking about how Square-Enix has lost their touch, how Square-Enix makes so many bad games. Square-Enix hasn't made a good fucking game in like a decade. Bros, play Nier Automata. That's the good Square-Enix game of this decade. And it's one of my favorite games of this whole fucking decade. Not only that, this game is like a perfect polyamorous marriage. That's what it is. It's a perfect 4-way marriage. It's a marriage of Square-Enix RPG and storytelling, characters and all that stuff. It's a marriage of Platinum Games action gameplay. It's a marriage of Yoko Taro and his absolutely crazy fucking storytelling and story direction. And it's also a marriage of, like, it's a homage to, like, Toho games and Bullet Hell games. Not only that, but the music is fucking incredible. The music, the composer of this game, the singers in this game have done some incredible work, man. Nier Automata has a whole open world. The story structure is very unique, but it does have a beginning, middle, and an honest-to-God conclusion, and one of the greatest conclusions in any video game I've ever fucking played. The combat is fantastic and fun. You can customize the gameplay to be however you want with the different modifications you can add to your characters. The music is incredible. The artwork and the storyline is thought-provoking. It's very different from any game I've ever played. Yoko Taro is a genius, man. Everybody who's worked on this game is geniuses, man. This is the best fucking RPG Square Enix has put out in the last 10 years, hands down. Nier Automata. This game deserves more love. This game, it gets a decent amount of recognition now, but I feel like it deserves a lot more, man. And it might be years till Nier Automata is fully appreciated for what it is. I look forward for whatever else Yoko Taro has up his sleeve. And I hope he does collaborate with Square Enix and Platinum Games again. Anyhow, guys, that's the number one game you should fucking try instead of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Nier Automata. Try Game of the Yorha edition. Anyhow, guys, that is my list of 7 games that are better than Final Fantasy VII Remake, with a few honorable mentions here and there. Honorable mention as well goes out to Shin Megami Tensei 4. Hopefully Shin Megami Tensei 5 will come around the corner. Hey, Shin Megami Tensei 4 has a big open world, a beginning, middle, and an end. Has great characters. Maybe the graphics aren't as great on 3DS, but you know what? It's a great game. More engaging gameplay than the fucking... I just feel like the characters, the enemies in Final Fantasy VII Remake have too much fucking health, man. It's all about staggering. It's just not that much fun to play that game. Even from the demo, I thought. But anyways, guys, that's my list. I'm Mike Muhammad. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video for more videos like this. Stay tuned next time, and I hope you guys take care out there.